Hey, I really enjoyed This American Life, The Problem We All Live With, Part 1 and 2. I found it really interesting because generally I guess I was a little surprised that still in 2014, we're dealing with feelings and emotions that we were dealing with back in 1954 and even 1972. My overwhelming thought was we need to find a way to stop acting out of fear when things are unknown and start looking at facts and data and the truth. And before we react and before we toss things away, we as a society need to start really thinking. I I watched these parents or listened in one video and then looked online for the 1972 time in Boston and and then back in 1954 too. And overwhelmingly, the white parents were afraid for the safety of their kids, not because there was necessarily a reason for it. There were certainly rumors, and there certainly were some children, I have no doubt, that had struggles and problems. However, overwhelmingly, the black students and their families just wanted to get a good education. And the fear that was displayed by the white families was essentially the same decade after decade after decade. So that's absolutely what struck me the most. How does this information affect children in each circumstance in educational institutions? Undoubtedly, we have not met the needs of our underprivileged kids. I'm currently the executive director of a behavioral health company where we do out-of-district school placements. And, I am always amazed to see how some of our least advantaged kids get kicked out so quickly of schools, and some of our higher privileged kids get chance after chance after chance. That's just my little commentary. This information is important for all of us to really absorb and consider when we're dealing with kids of different races. Anyone is capable of having behavior problems. Believe me, I know that because of what I do. Anyone is capable of hurting anyone. So we need to figure out how we can, and I actually think one of the keys is what was in part 2, which talked about integrating with choice. I believe when choice is offered, a lot of the fears diminish. And fear is what's getting in the way of true desegregation, in my opinion. How could I share this information with fellow educators once I start in the field? I believe it's essential, going back to what I said, we have to get the truth out there. When met with fear, we have to sit down and look at the statistics. We have to look at the data. We have to evaluate it honestly. We have to have open dialogues. We have to be willing to encourage people to see kids for who they are, not for what they look like. And because of my unique perspective working with behavior kids, I think I can speak very easily to the fact that every race has kids that struggle with behavior, and even those kids are pretty awesome. They just need a little extra help. How is this topic a concern beyond something that should be handled in an educational setting? This is a nationwide issue in America. I shared in one of the writing assignments that I grew up in Canada. It was wonderfully diverse. It was ethnically rich. It was one of the greatest experiences of my life. I lived there for 14 years. And it absolutely shaped who I am today. And I believe I'm able to see the person beyond their skin color or even beyond their behavior because of that upbringing. I believe in America we need to get to that point, and we are certainly not there. So this is not only an educational setting issue. This is something that absolutely is a sickness in America, and we need to target in multiple different ways. We need to, like I said, get the data out there, get the education out there, break down the walls, and I really believe that the integration with choice is essential. Finally, the statistics for my area did not surprise me. My kids attended Academy School District 20, where there are 23,561 students. 20,680 are white, and 671 are black. That was not surprising to me. A lot of people joke that Colorado Springs is Whiteville, and those stats show that to be true. I really believe that diversity is important, and it changes people when we embrace it. I just know from growing up with Greeks and Macedonians and Black people and Koreans and Asians and Hispanics and every other culture you could possibly imagine in Canada. When you embrace those cultures and you celebrate them and you delight in them, wonderful things happen. And I would like to see more diversity here in Colorado Springs. 20,680 to 671. Yeah, there's some work to do there. I did create a PowerPoint presentation that I'm going to try and upload to YouTube as well. I don't know if it'll be helpful or not, but I wasn't sure I could give all my thoughts in the amount of time. Thanks so much.